What's up everybody, Morph here. Today on Arknights Endfield, I'm going to share with you guys my current factory build that's able to produce gold armor pieces while simultaneously making LC Wuling batteries for sale. Because you're going to need to sell stuff to upgrade most of your stuff, right? So this is the build I'm currently using for my factory. Enjoy. I hope it helped you. Alright, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, as you can see, the base is a lot bigger now. To make it this big, the first thing you're going to do on day 2 in Wuling is actually going to Mr. Owl here and getting your first area expansion 1. Now, when you look at the size of the increase, you'd think it's small. It's actually a gigantic change, and that's only the first expansion. The second one is going to be all the way back there. It's a really big change to the landscape of your factory. Also, you're going to want to add a new depot bus section so that you have more unloading docks or unloading things to produce more stuff into your farm. Okay, here we go. Alright, first things first, because of the added size, we added more of these depot buses right here. It's now a big L shape. And to be able to produce armor pieces, you're going to need a bigger production line for Serenite. So I added another Skyforge. All you have to do is go to your... To be able to get 2 of these to come out, you have to go to... You press letter T, and I think it's the one right here, Forge Expansion 1. Get this upgrade, it's cheap. All you have to do is get the thing in the map and then click this and get that upgrade. Okay. So once you have that going for you, you're going to want to put up a gearing unit right here. Or sorry, a grinding unit right here. After you put the grinding unit there, you can run belts from your current setup right here. At the moment, I can only run a single grinder setup. I will update this on a later date to be able to have an even greater production of Serenite. Because right now, I am kind of Serenite hungry in my factory. But that will change pretty soon, maybe on day 3. But so that you'll be able to keep up with the game, you're just going to need to be able to craft your gold armor sets, which is what we're going to be talking about right now. To be able to do this, you're also going to need to have a greater amount of energy production. As you can see, I have 1,222 running. I have a 1,460 amount that's total energy that I can still... That's my base total, right? I'm only using 1.22. To do that, I made a change because I need the ori to make ori dust. You're gonna need a lot of ori dust in this farm. So to do that, it used to be running on ori, calcum, ore as energy, and I used I think 12 of these things. Now I'm only using 3 of these, and I'm using it with SC battery, using the Ferium component, right? That's why I have a Ferium battery farm setup on this bus loader right here. 5 outputs producing the battery to run this whole region's power energy. Imagine just this setup right here alone is powering my 2 regions up. Just this one battery right here. Alright, so that's enough to give you about 1.46k power. Next up, let's talk about the gearing unit. So when you're doing or creating gear, it's good to remember that when you're creating your gear, it only costs 50 components for you to craft 1 piece of armor. 50 components does take some time to get, but if you're running this thing the whole day using your Serenite and other resources like that, you're gonna quickly gain a sizable amount of Serenite. How much Serenite how many components did I actually farm? I made about 2,000 of them while I was asleep because it wasn't running optimally because I still wanted batteries to be made for my farm. I think the game prioritized the battery farm over the gear farm for some reason. But that's fine because I don't really need too much of this. Once you have um once you have your armor set going, all you're gonna really need for this thing is you're gonna refine it even further. You're gonna craft more pieces of it, but then you're still gonna need the currency to be able to. It's like a token thing that you're gonna need to farm to put or for a chance to refine your gear further. So at the moment, at this stage in the game, you don't really need to do that. So you don't need multiple copies of armor. So you don't really need to run your factory perfectly 100% of the time right now. You could just turn it on, get the components, then turn it off. So right now, it's actually off. I turned off my gearing unit, but if I wanted to produce again, I just turn it on and it's gonna make the component in about 10 seconds. You'll have one piece again. And eternity later. There you go. One piece went through. Okay, so that's the gearing unit setup. It's a shredder here for sand leaf, two loaders for ori powder, again shredder for sand leaf, and two belts for ori powder running into the two grinders right here, going through a refinery, another refinery, into the gearing unit, into the stash. Simple. Now, to be able to do this farm, especially since we're still making LC Wuling batteries that uses ori powder as well, yeah, you're gonna need a lot of ori powder in this region or in this factory. That's why Wuling is full of ori nodes. Also, the other map, the valley, is also full of ori nodes. So get all those ori nodes with drills in it, and you should be able to sustain your ori farm if you're gonna make battery plus your weapon manufacturing unit right here. So how many are you gonna need? You're gonna need a lot of ori dust making in the game. As you can see here, there's one right here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 ori units. 6 shredders making ori powder here. I'm already sustained from the previous build for the sand leaf, so we're not worried about that. If we go on over to our valley map, I did make some changes here, but not as much as the Wuling map. But there are some changes here as well. Again, both codes for my blueprints are available for Asian players. I wish it worked for America as well, but unfortunately, it does not. So, we actually have an oversupply of ori dust. That's why some of these machines are not working. So like these 3, I don't actually need them to run anymore. Because I was just on the verge of losing out on ori. Now that I have this, I might be able to produce something else within this place. I probably will make my other Syrenite maker on this map. I just might do that. So yeah, we're gonna do that most likely. Alright, so let's take a look at the changes here. It's mostly shredding units. As you can see here, this whole bus is for shredding units. This one is for the flowers, for making the battery. We already did this last time. Over here, this is the area for more shredding units. Shredding, 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 shredding. So if we're looking at this closely, it looks like we're not gonna need these 3 units right here. I can actually replace this. But if you're low on dust and need to catch up, you can always have them and then just turn them off when you don't need them. But most likely they'll have to be replaced. So yeah, there's a lot more depots here, but I just wanted to produce armors as quickly as possible. So I made this setup right here. There's so many ori dust makers. So if I were you, I would reduce it on your build. But currently for mine, I think I'm gonna stick with this because eventually I'm gonna upgrade my battery to need like two battery makers for my farm. Unfortunately, to have a good battery maker setup, you're gonna need 6 unloader setups. So maybe one bus you'll be able to farm like another, make another farming terminal like this. We'll see. All right, so those are the changes to my factory. Not too many, but yeah, day 2 was a successful day because I did get my gold pieces for a lot of my characters. I can actually, you're gonna just need 200 to make a set. I have 2,000. I can make sets for 10 characters. So yeah, I'd say that was a good day and you can use this build. And of course, as the day goes by, I will further improve it and maybe you yourself can improve it yourself because the game's factory system, I thought I was going to hate it, but then I'm actually growing to really like it. That's it for this video. I hope it helped you out. Do hit that like and sub. Show me some love. Keeps me motivated to play this game as well as create content for it. Because, you know, I'm a CC and I need to provide for my content. That's it. I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.